Hello and welcome into another edition of Sitting Down with Sgar. I'm Jeremy Huber, voice of Georgetown football, joined by the head coach of the Hoyas, Rob Sgarlata. Coach, thanks for joining us.
Jeremy, great to see you.
And Coach, coming off a tough loss, overtime defeat against Bucknell, where you guys had a lead in the fourth quarter. Obviously, just a tough game. Your thoughts on a game that really went your team's way for about 3.5 quarters?
Yeah, it's another tough physical Patriot League football game. And as we're going through this, you're looking at, what exactly happened, why did it happen, and how do we correct it? We're still in that point where we're trying to figure out how to win those 4 or 5, we call them CSU plays within a game to come out with a win. So disappointed with the outcome. When you go back and look at the film, a lot of things that we can build on, a lot of great individual performances. But at the end of the day, we're looking to get a win and needed to make more plays, especially in the overtime, taking care of the football to get to that result.
Coach, you talk about taking care of the football, and Pierce Holly's done a pretty good job of that this season, but your starting quarterback throws 3 interceptions. Again, your thoughts on a guy who normally does not do that, turning the ball over like that. Any concern going forward?
No, Pierce is our guy. He's done a great job throwing the football throughout the season. The offense really runs through him. I was encouraged, that we got Tyler Knopp some snaps running the football, and he can run the whole catalog as well. So, both of those guys have done a great job of getting a grasp of the offense. And I would say that, I will take Pierce in all those situations last weekend and moving forward. It was really great to see him rebound this week, take a hard look at what happened over the weekend and work with Coach Spence every day this week just to prepare for the challenge we have against Holy Cross here on the Hilltop Saturday.
And Coach, you mentioned your quarterback's mood going forward. What was your team's mood after the game and early on in this week?
It was really motivating. You go into the fourth quarter up 21-10, and I think we mentioned it before, with 2 minutes, 11 seconds left, and the other team having no timeouts. I'll take our defense this year and any year that I'm coaching here. So, you get in those situations and you have to execute and make some plays down the stretch. So I thought we had a great week. One of the things that we talked about a lot this week was have a ton of respect for our seniors and our fifth-year seniors for what they've done with the program. But this is not the last game for this program. This is just the next game. We're looking to make sure that we're doing a great job of continuing to build the foundation for our program and use this Saturday just as our next step within that journey.
Going to get to those seniors in just a second, but I wanted to talk about a freshman, a guy I know Emery Hunt and I in the booth were kind of surprised to see him out there. But Trevor Swan made his first start, really his first playing time for you guys, and played pretty well. Talk about the Frosh and his performance against Bucknell.
Yeah, Trevor's done a great job. I think you talk to freshmen all the time about, continue to prepare and continue to do well. Your time will come. Trevor's done a great job running our offense as well as everybody else's offense for us with our attack teams. So had the opportunity to come out and played at a really high level on Saturday. So anytime that you can have people up front within your freshman class, Trevor joins, Mateen as far as being impact freshman playing up front for us, it bodes well for the future.
And Coach, a question for the coach and you. How do you know when a player's ready? How do you know when a guy as a freshman's ready to get out there and, be able to compete? Not necessarily, because guys are never ready, but they can get out there and compete and hold their own.
Yeah, it really goes back to practice. It how you do anything is how you do everything. So Trevor's been great in the weight room with Coach Shanahan. He's been great in the meeting rooms, and he's competing at a very high level against Ivory Harrell and Ivy Kamara and Quincy Chinmuku day in day out. That tells you because those are some of the top players, in my opinion, on defense in the conference. And if he can hold his own, within practice, in individual drills, in one-on-one pass rush with those guys, it seemed like he was ready to get the time that he got last weekend against Bucknell.
Coach, wanted to touch on Dorian Moultrie. Of course, we've talked about Josh Tomas so much, and Josh, another amazing game, touchdown at 100 yards. But Moultrie on this season, he's your second leading receiver in yardage. He is a guy that has been a dogged blocker and more maybe special younger brother of Herman Moultrie, been here so long, and he's dealt with injuries. How satisfying is it to see Dorian play like he has this year?
It's great to see Demo have success on the field. We've known since he got here as a freshman that he could be, and now has shown that he's an impact player within the Patriot League. the other thing that's really impressive about Demo is he's on a lot of our special forces, a lot of our special teams, and he's a day in, day out lunch pail guy, and he has done a tremendous job of blocking on the edge, in our screen game and our run game. So, he's somebody that's made a huge impact on our season, especially offensively and also within our special teams.
Coach, you're a guy that makes an impact on your players. Talking to them, they all say such wonderful things about you and about how your coaching style. And I thought that played out a little bit on Saturday. Cam Pygott made a mistake, muffed the kickoff. I believe it was the last possession before overtime where you guys end up taking a knee. And there wasn't the hollering and screaming. There was you kind of putting your arm around him. I believe just kind of explaining what happened and what was wrong and what to do next time. Is there a part of you that always says to yourself, hey, we're going to correct these things. We're going to make sure these guys know it. We're not going to just give the idle scream and yell.
Yeah, it's all about teaching. I'll be honest with you. I coach the returners, and the first thing I think about is like, hey, did we go over that enough? We had returner school this week. We do it most weeks, and just wanted to make sure in that moment that, he was going to be back there again, catching another kickoff pretty quick for us. So you want to make sure that you can make that correction quickly in the game. And it also that's the type of player Cam is. CP has done a great job for us. He came in here, earned a spot on our roster, and does everything we ask him. So he's earned the respect to be on those special teams, have an impact, really taking some snaps when Josh isn't out there. And we strive to do that, with our coaching staff. If you ask me, as we hire coaches, the number one thing we're looking for is detail-oriented teachers, people that can explain something complex simply and get the most out of their players. So in that moment, it wouldn't have done any good to yell and scream at CP. He needed just to be reassured of, what the rule was, how we're going to handle it next time, and just keep getting that 1% better throughout, that game and hopefully coming into Saturday's game.
On Saturday, Coach, you'll be honoring a group of players who's got more than 1% better throughout their careers at Georgetown. A big senior class, obviously COVID. Some of the other things have kind of increased the size of it, but the names, Tomas, Hollensteiner, Azar, Herman Moultrie, Fontenot, Kamara, just to name a few. What has this senior class meant to you and this Georgetown program?
Without this senior class and this fifth year class, I really honestly don't know where we would be. Going through the COVID shutdown and all the things that they did to keep our program together, to help us to recruit this, very impactful freshman class. There's a lot of talent in this class, and they came here after seeing the things that this senior and fifth year senior class has done on and off the field for us at Georgetown. So, as I'm looking above into these names, we have 4 or 5 guys intern on Wall Street, a couple guys that are leaving us here in December to go work at Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan. And, some of those stories that are being written, we'll also have the NFL, USFL, European leagues with our guys continuing to play football. So, they are the standard bearers. We've been in a couple tight games, and hopefully we'll be able to finish with a win for them this weekend, which is what they deserve. But they're the reason why we're still standing and why this program is in great shape, as we complete this season, go into another great recruiting season, and start looking forward to the 2023 campaign.
That's our CSU spotlight for the week. Let's move on to this week's challenge, Coach. And it's about as big of a challenge you're going to see this year. The undefeated Holy Cross Crusaders come to town, first time in a while due to some COVID rescheduling. Where does this Crusaders team stack up throughout your time in the Patriot League? Teams, really good teams you've seen.
Yeah, Coach Chesney's done a great job of building a complete football team. They do a good job running the ball on offense and are very solid on defense. So one of the stronger teams that you're going to see in the league. And, we're really looking forward to the challenge, in all 3 phases. One of the things that they've done throughout the year also is to make a ton of impact with block kicks. So we worked on that throughout the week. So, this will be a great gauge for us to see where we stand. And our expectation is to come out and get a win for these seniors, on the last day at Cooper Field. Happy, nothing against Worcester, but happy we're not traveling up there to play those guys up there. Love to have them here in DC, and looking forward to a great contest.
Don't know if the snow's coming to New England this week. I know it's coming to Buffalo, so Colgate, maybe they'll get some of it. Coach,
Yeah.
you mentioned their punt blocking unit. Again, saw it firsthand in 2018, helped turn that game around. not giving away any trade secrets, but again, is it just preparing, and is there extra study when it comes to something like this? Is it a multi-pronged approach when it comes to a team that's this good at blocking kicks?
Now it's easy. I just told Coach Spence to keep getting first downs. That's what we're trying to do. We take a lot of time and put a lot of pride into, we call our special team special forces. Coach Henderson, Trey Henderson runs it for us as the coordinator and runs our punt unit. And our other coaches are each head coaches of the unit. So we do put a ton of time into it throughout the year. We talk about it as our 1%. We meet on it quite a bit. So, it will be a challenge Saturday, but it's nothing outside of the norm. Each week you have to make sure that you can protect and cover. And, that shouldn't be any different this weekend for us.
Coach, good defense for Bob Chesney, but a lot of times that offense, they're hanging their hat. And Matt Saluka, their quarterback, a guy that, if not for Tim DeMorat, I think would be getting a lot more pub. Saluka, a guy that can do both passing and can run it. What do you see from him?
Yeah, he's definitely multidimensional. He is somebody that you're going to have to make sure that you're forcing back to pursuit. He's done a great job of getting outside the edges against everybody this year. And anytime that you can run the quarterback, you had another number in the box. So, Coach Doherty will do a great job of switching some things up and making sure that we're not looking the same way the entire day. But definitely a challenge, and it's a definitely something that I think our guys are up for. We see a lot of the quarterback run game in practice with Tyler Knopp and some of the package that we run with him. So, we'll be prepared for him on Saturday.
Coach, and this may be a dumb question, but I'm full of dumb questions. A team that you guys beat in Lafayette to go and play Holy Cross to the wire, and a lot of guys say if not for Holy Cross's special teams plays, Leopards come away with a win. You think that helps your group to say, we can do this too?
Yeah, I think so. It's when you get to a 10-0 record and you have, some of the wins that they've had throughout the year, we really go back to keeping things extremely simple, right? It's us against Holy Cross, but I told the kids this morning, I've said this all year, is it's us against ourselves. When we take care of things and take care of the football and tackle well and do those things, you'll see a really good Georgetown football team. And it's no different this weekend. Each team within the Patriot League, if you play well, you're going to win. If you don't, you're going to struggle. And this is one of the games where we preached all week. You're going to have to play 4 quarters and you're going to have to finish. Last week, I think we played about 3.5 quarters, so hopefully we can get to all 4 this weekend and finish. And we're really looking forward to being home, having senior day, honoring these guys, and finishing with a great performance for these seniors and for our program.
Last one, Coach. The Penn game, the second of back-to-back 59-point games your defense allows. You struggled. What have you learned about your team in that second half of the season since the Penn game?
It goes back to the leadership you're talking to with this 5th-year senior and senior class. I think these guys have bought in 100%. There's no quitting them. We had a great practice today. It's one of those things where they want to come out and prove every day, that they are building the foundation here for a championship program at Georgetown. And I can't tell you how much I respect the entire group. Each one's been through their own 4 for 40 journey and had their ups and their downs. They're, like I said before, they're the reason that we're here. So the number one thing I've learned about these guys is there's no quitting them, and you'll see that on Saturday.
Well, Coach, that's going to wrap it up for us for today and for the season. I want to thank you for being so gracious with your time all year long.
Jeremy, thanks so much. Looking forward to seeing you on Saturday.
That's Rob Sgarlata, and for our producer, Dylan Smith, I'm Jeremy Huber. Remember, Hoya's take on Holy Cross, 12:30 kickoff. You can be there in person at Cooper Field, or you can catch it on the Patriot League on ESPN. So for Coach Sgar, for Dylan, I'm Jeremy saying so long, and Hoya Saxa.